Welcome to Amanda's cross-country road trip. I'm on my way to Colorado. Right now, I am in Missouri. I feel like I've been in Missouri for like 3 days. I don't know. It's been a few hours. Kansas is worse. I'm not looking forward to it. Imagine having to drive 24 hours and entertaining yourself. Or sleep, really. So you're tired all the time. And that's what this is. Yep. Just lots of roads. Kansas gets even more boring. There's not really much to see. There's a little bit of hillage here, so it ain't too bad. But yeah. I'd always said I was going to start a travel blog. This is boring. Welcome to it. So about, 2 hours ago, I was in a situation where there was a tornado warning. That was something I never thought about having to encounter while driving cross country, where you don't have shelter to go to, and where would you go? I pulled into a gas station. Highly recommend not doing that. Like a fast food place might be better. Just a suggestion. Things I would do differently. Anyway, I don't know if there was any tornadoes. I don't think so, but it was definitely super rainy and super windy. Kind of scary, because I was worried that my car was going to get carried off like Twister. But the country is beautiful. It's really nice to get the chance to see it all. I feel really lucky that I am capable of doing this. But this is Missouri. It reminds me a lot of home. Home is Pennsylvania, if you don't know. About 52 miles to Kansas City, and then I'll get into Kansas. So it'll be real exciting. So things I want to talk about to myself on the road while I have conversations to myself, with myself, whatever, about things that we wish we would have known as teenagers and like how we would have done things differently. And I always wanted to kind of document all of the things that I've learned coming into adulthood. And it's been said over and over again by thousands of people for millennia, but here's one more try. Don't go to college. Unless you absolutely have to, don't go to college. If you're not going to be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a lawyer, an engineer, psychologist, things like that, if you're not going to do that, don't waste your money. Save your money. Save your money and work your way up. I went to school for graphic design and marketing, entrepreneurial studies. 3 majors that were completely unnecessary when it comes to the world of adulthood and life. And I could have saved myself hundreds of thousands of dollars if I wouldn't have done that. I'm a year-old, that's what I needed to do. And so I did. And it's a scam. I went to school for graphic design strictly because I wanted shirt design. Guess what? You don't need a graphic design bachelor degree to do t-shirt design. Did it get me into jobs that required bachelor's degrees? Yes. Yes, it did. Did those jobs pay better than jobs that didn't require bachelor degrees? No, it did not. Only the one did, but I could still have gone into more money without a bachelor degree, and then I wouldn't have had student loan debt. I cannot emphasize it enough. If it's not something that's a necessity, seek out a mentor. Seek out somebody that you can shadow to see if you actually even like that field in the first place. Find somebody that you idolize, that you want that position. Like, When I was in the midst of college, I had realized that I wanted to maybe work for that. Don't mind that. That's nothing. But when I was in the midst of college, I had realized that I might want to work for Pixar because I really love Pixar, and I thought doing storyboarding for them would be a really awesome job, or even graphic design for them would be an awesome job. Either way, thought it would be cool, and should have done was sought out who was already in that position at Pixar, and then gone from there, where I would look up their background. Well, what was their major? What did they specialize in? What was the school they chose to go to? Did they choose any extracurriculars? Was there anything else that they were involved in? Did they submit art to a bunch of contests and competitions and things? And the world is great now because we have the internet, and as they're living, reach out to them directly. And if they're a decent human being, they'll probably help us, knowing that the 4 years that you'll have to spend in college, or the time that you'll spend working your way up to, that's nothing. Again, don't worry about it. Looking up to where they're at, they should already be far. That any job that you have, you shouldn't stay there for longer than 2 years. Anywhere you work at. You shouldn't stay there for longer than 2 years, because at 2 years should be at maximum capacity. You should have been promoted the farthest you possibly could have in that company. A pretty fair assessment. That has never happened for me. That has never happened. I've never been promoted in a job that I've worked at, in a company that I've worked for. Not at least when it came to my field, I should say. I haven't made it even to the 3-year mark, the full 3-year mark of working for a company, because the fields that I chose were dying. I mean, graphic design is not a dying field, but the school that I went to, because I was dumb and 17 and making decisions for my adult self, in Conja, as a 17 better, and I wish that I would have, but I didn't have anybody to go off. My parents never went to college. My grandparents didn't go to college. I had 2 cousins. They're not looking back at, they were in the mid, and yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't run. I stated that we only want to do print media when print media is done. Digital media is where it's at, and we didn't learn credit course in digital media, whether that was animation or web design. We had 1 out of the 84 credits that I needed to graduate with a graphic design degree. 3 credits were designated to digital media. So my point is, if I would have done the research that I should have done, if I would have known to do the research if I wanted to, like, who doesn't want to dwell in their past and more? I just take it and I'm moving forward, and I need you guys to know this is where I'm trying to help you do better. You can do better. So if I would have done the research, I would have realized that the people that were working for Pixar, just School of Art, and this is a really, really decent art school. And that's just a nice specific field. Now you can do that else. You know, I had a she's like on her way to the United States, and I hope that she does, because I really think that she would definitely deserve it. A favor by being in that position. And I have hers at this point, probably 20 years actually. But like the high school that she chose to go to was a private school. Her parents obviously had money for that. But don't let your education and don't let your future be stifled or feel hindered. Always methods. Always go and read books. If you can download the Libby, where you can have free books and audiobooks. And you can read novels. That's I have been like Neil deGrasse. I don't know how you pronounce his middle name, but the Neil guy that hangs out with Bill Nye. He has his audiobook. Highly recommend. I loved it. Yourself that way as well. You're going to school, but you know, there's out there. Be stifled by the environment placed into. You can always expand. Said than done. Until I was 30 to finally get my own. So try. So when you're looking at I don't know, medical school out there. One that aren't those higher colleges and universities. I don't know the answer to that. I'm just making suggestions. Important that you, with people that want success in their own life, there are so many people that will want you to be down on their level. Don't do that. Did that. And it ends up having you life. Well, if I wasn't bullied, and I still feel that way, I struggle with confidence and with that. A loner. I very much don't let a lot of people, because I trust issues. You don't have always. If anybody has to insist to you that they are something like, oh, I'm a nice guy, or I'm very, very smart, just so you know, I'm in excellent programs that are advanced, and I've been bumped up prompt. That's how you know who not to talk to. If somebody's telling you don't listen to that person, they're the person you don't want to talk to. You're just going to try to start friendship with somebody because of their own personal feelings. That's in your life. Why try to control who you know and control how you interact with people? That's just nonsense. You know. That was my first big girl job out of college. I walked in happy and everything, and tore around the you can get to know everybody. And she was like, oh, don't Daryl, don't talk to Sandy, don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person, and for all various reasons as to why I shouldn't talk to them. And I immediately was like, oh, you're the person at arm's length the whole time. You know, you can be nice to somebody, you don't have to be immediately workplace nice to them. Is how work together, let's just get through the day, and then I don't have to see you after that, and I can leave you at the that's who she was. And you'll be very, very cautious and pay very close attention to people that do that, because why would they have to try to convince you that they are what they're saying they are, when they could just way more easily show you that that's who they are. That's how it should be. And on that note too, I'm losing my train of thought. Here's the boring the road as I regain my train of thought. One of the most important lessons that I've learned as an adult, and I wish that I would have understood it when I was a kid, because so many adults had tried to explain it to me, and my tiny little child brain could not grasp it. When you're being bullied, I am still bullied as an adult. That does not go away. I wish that it did, but it doesn't. But now, instead of taking that in internally and having it rip me to shreds and tear me down, I'm thinking about the situation that it's in. For example, there has been a number of times where I have been hanging out outside with my friends, whether it's at a house or at a bar or at a restaurant or whatever, wherever, and you have a car drive by and yell things out the window to you. Usually I get called fat ass or losers, is one of the other ones that were shouted at me and friends. And so when I was younger, that really, really bothered me. That was something that it would just tear me down. It would smash me into the ground for days, and the recovery time was just extensive, just constantly having to try to build myself back up and make a comeback from that, bounce back from it. You have to think about it though. This is very important, okay? This is what I talk to my students about now a lot, because they tell me about them getting bullied, and they seem to be able to cope with it a lot better than I did when I was their age. But that makes me so happy. I'm so glad that they are. They're such strong, independent, young kids and young women, and they're so great. The boys don't tell me about their bullying. They seem to be pretty content and and brushing it off there with their peers. But anyway, so we're going back to the example of somebody driving by and yelling out some rude comment out the window. Okay, let's review. What is that person? What? How? Why is your mind focused on trying to find a person on the side of the road that you can yell at? Where is your mind at with that? That's a serious question. Where is your mind at with that? So I started thinking, what am I doing when I'm in my car? For instance, right now, I'm talking to nothingness. I'm talking to the road in hopes that somebody hears this and has some form of a takeaway that maybe I have a little bit of advice to give. But I would take all of anyone's advice. I would always take with a grain of salt. My thoughts were, what am I doing whenever I'm driving? Well, typically when I'm driving, first things first, you're paying attention to the road. That's what you want to be doing. You want to stay focused. You want to make sure you're safe, that everyone else is around you. Everyone else is safe around you, And you want to make sure that you're driving defensive. You're watching things from all angles. And that you're not being an aggressive driver. Aggressively driving is not going to help anybody. That's the first thing you should be doing while you're driving. The second thing that I'm doing when I'm driving, the second thing that I'm doing is that I am thinking about life. Where do I want to be next year? What do I want out of my life? What's my life goal? What is my all-time number one life goal? Like, at the end of my life, what is it that I want to have done? Feel good about that. And that's a big question. And it can be vague and everything, but that's not the topic that we're on right now. That's where my mind is at, though, is what my goal is, and in addition to that, what my next step is to get to that goal. Maybe I'm also thinking about what I have to do that day. Or, hey, I haven't spoken to so-and-so in a little while. I really win, and how life is treating them, and I miss them. They've always been a really good friend, and so on and so forth. Somebody standing on the side of the road, kill them. I'm just saying. Nonsense.